Safina, Beyond Words, What Animals Think and Feel. Dive into the fascinating world of animal emotions and intelligence with Safina's Beyond Words, What Animals Think and Feel. This captivating summary guides you through the incredible lives and minds of elephants, chimpanzees, wolves, and killer whales, revealing their remarkable capacity for thought, emotion, and communication. Understand the crucial differences between humans and animals, as well as the unique individuality of each species, as we explore their complex social structures, behavior, and challenges they face due to human prejudices.
Embracing animal minds. The notion of puppy dog eyes prompts an emotional response in humans, but attributing human characteristics to animals, or anthropomorphism, can hinder our understanding of their true nature. Anthropocentrism, an idea in which humans possess unique thinking and feeling capabilities, further separates us from animals. To better comprehend animals, we should acknowledge their minds and unique abilities, such as an elephant's superior hearing. Recognizing the differences among species yet still understanding our shared commonalities allows for a deeper and more accurate study of animal behavior. The belief that animals cannot think or feel is fundamentally flawed. We must work to prove their mental and emotional capacities. Unraveling animal thought process. Figuring out the thoughts going on inside an animal's mind isn't as easy as it seems. Experiments like the theory of mind and self-awareness tests have been designed, but their results are often inconclusive or don't prove much about the animal's actual thinking process. Observing animal behavior and recognizing differences in their needs, such as the albatross's unique navigational abilities, shed new light on how challenging it is to fully grasp animal minds. If you were asked to create a test to decipher the thoughts within an animal's mind, would you know where to start? The popular theory of mind suggests assessing an animal's ability to understand others' thoughts and react accordingly. One experiment tested this theory with chimpanzees in 1978. The chimps observed films of humans struggling with various problems, getting cold or reaching for a banana, and were presented with pictures of potential solutions. They failed to choose the correct image, indicating that they might not possess a theory of mind. However, observing the natural behavior of chimpanzees in the wild challenges this conclusion. Lower-ranking chimps challenge the alpha male, knowing he'll create a diversion and provide an opportunity for them to mate with females in secret. This behavior implies that chimps can understand and anticipate the alpha male's thought process and reactions. Another approach to study animal thought includes testing self-awareness by placing a dye mark on an animal's forehead and showing them their reflection in a mirror. When the animal recognizes itself and tries to remove the mark, self-awareness is assumed. But this method only demonstrates the animal's understanding of reflections, not actual self-awareness. Examining the animal brain structure doesn't always provide answers either. For example, albatrosses have a similar brain structure to humans, but their intelligence significantly differs from ours since their skills are tailored to their unique navigational needs. Overall, understanding what goes on inside an animal's mind remains a complex challenge. Traditional experiments and study methods may not always provide conclusive evidence, but observing behavior and acknowledging the different skills and needs within animal species uncovers more questions and possibilities of animal thinking. The self-domestication of dogs. Contrary to popular belief, dogs domesticated themselves by adapting to human settlements in search of food, leading to their transformation from wolves. Friendliness towards humans became advantageous, allowing them to breed more. Their appearance also evolved, acquiring traits like floppy ears and curly tails, as revealed by experiments on foxes in Siberia. Similarly, bonobos proved that selective breeding can occur without human intervention, with friendly males preferred for reproduction, resulting in an overall amicable disposition in the species. This self-domestication of animals, however, affects our perception of their intellect and emotions, such as mistaking a dog's loyalty as stupidity, even in cases of abuse. It is crucial to recognize that such loyalty is a survival tactic to remain close to their source of food and security. Unraveling animal consciousness. You may be surprised to learn that your brain's basic structure is quite similar to that of other mammals. This similarity means that animals perceive and acquire knowledge in ways comparable to humans, challenging the long-held belief that animals cannot be conscious due to their smaller cerebral cortex size. Brain size alone is not a conclusive factor in determining animal intelligence, but rather the similarity to human brain structures. With animals that possess social brains, such as primates, elephants, whales, and dolphins, their discerning thoughts and emotions are strikingly human-like due to their brain structures closely resembling ours. Animals, just like humans, are capable of cognition, which involves perceiving and acquiring knowledge. Elephants, for example, learn which plants to eat by closely observing and tasting the foods consumed by their elders. While our experiences may differ, it is evident that humans are not alone in the realm of consciousness. Contrary to popular belief, a smaller cerebral cortex does not mean a lack of consciousness in animals. Consider Roger, a man who lost 95% of his cerebral cortex due to an infection, but still managed to retain his self-awareness. Additionally, animal emotions can be linked to their brains, like the hormone oxytocin, which plays a vital role in forming bonds in both humans and other mammals. Blocking oxytocin production in the brain leads to more solitary behavior in both species, pointing to a shared relation in emotional responses. The truth lies not in the size of an animal's brain, but in its structural similarities to human brains. While a larger brain does imply more considerable computing power, it is not necessarily the deciding factor for intelligence. For instance, tuna, with smaller brains than dolphins, are equally adept at hunting. The primary purpose of a larger brain is to facilitate social cooperation and group survival. Analyzing animals with social brains, it becomes challenging to deny their ability to think and feel like humans, given the unmistakable resemblance between our respective brains. Elephants' intricate social bonds. Elephants form complex societies, often led by a knowledgeable matriarch who holds the group's history. They understand third-party relationships within the group, such as identifying which baby belongs to which mother. The vast brain capacity of these magnificent creatures allows them to learn and remember important geographical information, such as the location of watering holes and food sources. Elephants display high levels of cooperation, emotional intelligence, and even empathy towards their peers. The process of rearing offspring shapes the structure of their society, with males becoming more aggressive and competitive when seeking to mate. Consequently, young males typically leave their matriarchal families when they mature. Elephants display behaviors that indicate their understanding of third-party relationships within their social groups. They are often governed by wise matriarchs who not only preserve their community's history but also determine its future by choosing successors and guiding group mergers or splits. To navigate their environments and locate food and water resources, elephants require adaptable, powerful brains. Born with only 35% of their adult brain weight, elephant calves have plenty of room for development. This stands in contrast to other mammals, whose brains are typically 90% their adult weight at birth. Elephants also exhibit cooperation and emotional intelligence, seeking out others when lost and even experiencing the emotions of their peers. For example, when an injured elephant needs assistance, another will provide food, showcasing their compassionate nature. The act of raising offspring significantly influences the organization of elephant society. Male elephants over 30 experience a time of increased reproductive hormones causing elevated aggression in competition. Female elephants, however, only enter their mating season for 4 days every 4 years, leading to substantial competition among males. Since the presence of testosterone-charged adult males disturbs group cohesion, young males remain subordinate until they mature and eventually leave their matriarchal families. Nature's reaction to human aggression. The violent human actions towards orcas and elephants have driven both species to develop adaptive defense mechanisms. Nowadays, orcas are systematically targeted for their prized flesh, with their young captured for aquariums. Consequently, they have learned to avoid certain routes and areas, but are still hunted in places like Greenland and Indonesia. Similarly, elephants face the threat of ivory poachers and shrinking habitats. They have developed unique responses to identify threats, such as avoiding spear-wielding Maasai tribespeople who are known for injuring elephants. Both orcas and elephants, despite negative human interactions, show no general hostility towards people. It's a terrifying thought to have someone chase you down with a gun. However, that's exactly how animals feel, particularly orcas and elephants who have had to adapt to such aggressive human behavior. In the 20th century, orcas, also known as killer whales, faced a significant decline in numbers as they were ruthlessly hunted for the same fish that fishermen prized. Despite North America banning orca killings in the 1970s, these marine mammals still face the threat of hunters in places like Greenland and Indonesia. Elephants, on the other hand, must constantly evade the grasp of ivory poachers, which has drastically reduced their numbers across Africa. Additionally, their habitats and food supplies have rapidly declined due to human expansion. These adverse situations have forced elephants to develop unique responses when faced with danger. Elephants are now extremely cautious around the Maasai, a semi-nomadic ethnic group known for their spear use. The creatures can even identify the smell and voice of a Maasai, helping them distinguish between various human populations. It's important to note that neither orcas nor elephants exhibit any common antagonism towards humans. Elephants are generally friendly, and instances of orcas harming humans have occurred exclusively in captivity. Moreover, there have been reports of orcas offering protection to humans in need. It is disheartening to see these intelligent creatures having to constantly adapt to the cruelty brought on by human greed and aggression. Unraveling the wolf-pack dynamics. Elephants may possess intelligence comparable to humans, but what about wolves? While many believe that wolf packs were led by an alpha male, it's now clear that every pack member plays a vital role. Wolves, one of the few species hunting prey larger than themselves, rely heavily on cooperation and teamwork to swiftly bring down prey. Alpha pairs must be confident leaders who encourage rather than hinder cooperation among members. Interestingly, generosity is also observed in wolf behavior, exemplified by a Yellowstone wolf named 21, who never killed a rival wolf and would even allow cubs to beat him, understanding the implications of his actions on status and territory. This led to 21's secure access to food and mating, negating the need to kill rivals. Animal personalities matter. Acknowledging the distinct personalities of animals is not only essential to broaden our understanding of them, but also to challenge our preconceived notions and prejudices. Wolves, like 06, exhibit unique character traits and leadership skills that impact the overall strength and dynamics of their packs. Additionally, many animals can recognize individuality in other species, and even in humans, as demonstrated by the behavior of tagged ravens. Regrettably, the misguided views of wolves and other animals in literature and history have created an unjust bias, leading to their persecution. It is crucial to learn from indigenous cultures that have long respected and coexisted peacefully with these misunderstood creatures. While it's well known that people have unique personalities, the same is true for animals, and this aspect deserves greater attention in research. Wolves such as 06, the remarkable hunter and leader, exhibit individuality that impacts their pack's dynamics and success. The significance of a strong leader is evident when packs disintegrate following the loss of that leader. Additionally, some animals can recognize individuality not only within their own species but among others, including humans. Ravens, for instance, have been shown to remember the faces of researchers who have tagged them, often reacting aggressively as a result. Unfortunately, animals like wolves have faced persecution throughout history due to human prejudice and misrepresentation in literature. As wolves are often depicted as symbols of evil and chaos, during the European Middle Ages, they were even targeted by the Church. On a more positive note, many indigenous cultures respect wild animals, fostering peaceful coexistence with creatures like wolves, lions, and tigers. To better appreciate and understand these animals, we must challenge our preconceived notions and recognize the value of their distinctive personalities. By learning from indigenous practices and shedding biases, we open the door to cultivating a more harmonious relationship with the natural world. Unveiling killer whale societies. Despite appearing fearsome, killer whales are cooperative, generous creatures with intricate social structures led by female matriarchs. These whales live in families, pods, clans, and communities, each tied together with unique vocalizations. Matriarchs, who can maintain leadership even after menopause, hold vital roles in their group survival. Interestingly, killer whales enjoy sex and self-arousal, proving they have a vibrant social aspect. The distinct differences between communities suggest they may be different species altogether. Killer whales may look like a marine version of the T-Rex, but they're a far cry from the ferocious picture they're often painted in. These fascinating creatures boast elaborate social systems, with mothers, or matriarchs, at the core. Families stick with their matriarchs, who memorize essential routes and feeding locations. When socializing, unique calls intertwine their families into pods, clans, and, ultimately, communities. However, these communities rarely interact with others of their kind. Matriarchs remain in control, even after menopause, which sets them apart from other animals that often struggle to survive when they stop reproducing. This longevity is crucial for the younger whales, as male whales under 30 are 3 times more likely to die if their mother passes away, while females over 30 face a 2.5 times higher risk of death when their mother dies. Aside from their sophisticated societal structure, killer whales have quite an interesting approach to sex. They enjoy the act regardless of age, menopause, or sex of their partner. Masturbation and arousal of other whales are not uncommon among these creatures. While all killer whales share some similarities, they can differ significantly from one another, to the point that they may be separate species in their own right. Distinct communities avoid each other, and those with differing diets don't mingle. Though they're currently considered a single species with various types, their self-segregation and refusal to interbreed offer strong evidence that they might be unique species altogether. Unraveling animal communication. Killer whales and other animals communicate in ways that often surpass humans' limited auditory and visual perception. Sound travels further underwater, allowing orcas to communicate over vast distances, while elephants use vibrations that humans can barely sense to communicate with each other. Blind activist Daniel Kish demonstrates that humans can adapt, using clicks to create mental images and navigate his environment. Even some animals, like dolphins, have showcased an understanding of human languages, indicating that their cognitive abilities extend beyond what people previously realized. Did you know that our inability to understand killer whales' communication is due to our limited hearing abilities? Sound travels better in water than in air, and orcas can communicate across impressive distances of 150 miles through sound. Unfortunately, our ears aren't tuned to pick up on their vocalizations. Similarly, human visual perception restricts our understanding of the light spectrum. Many animals perceive light differently or detect it beyond our usual range with alternative senses. Interpreting sound can even be a form of vision that humans can potentially learn. Take Daniel Kish, an American activist, for example. Despite being blind since the age of 1, he navigates by using clicks, like a sonar, to produce mental images of his surroundings. His skill is so remarkable that he can even ride a bike in traffic. Communication is much more than just words. Elephants, for instance, talk through vibrations that we cannot hear and barely sense. They can detect these rumbles made by other elephants over long distances, vibrations that go entirely unnoticed by humans. Scent also plays a role in communication, exemplified by the way flowers attract insects with their unique fragrances. While the complexity of the animal world continually unfolds, we find that dolphins in Hawaii have even displayed an understanding of human languages. They can decipher syntactical differences in spoken human commands, showcasing their impressive cognitive skills. In conclusion, the incredible abilities of animals to communicate in diverse ways highlight the potential for humans to expand our understanding of the world around us and foster a deeper connection with the fascinating creatures we coexist with.
As we conclude our journey through Safina's book, we are left with a newfound appreciation for and understanding of the incredible intelligence and emotions displayed by animals such as elephants, chimpanzees, wolves, and killer whales. By acknowledging their distinct minds, intricate social structures, and individual personalities, we can better comprehend the significant similarities and differences they share with humans. Let us not forget the impact human perception and prejudice has on these incredible creatures, recognizing the importance of respecting their rights and striving for harmonious coexistence. Ultimately, Beyond Words is a compelling exploration of the astounding world of animal thoughts and feelings and a reminder of how interconnected our lives truly are.